Now, with the most recent and ongoing current investments in Counter-Strike Global Offensive with the Operation Riptide Collections, obviously the Vertigo is probably one of the best options as of right now. The Mirage is one of the most talked about options as of right now. And you also have the PGL Major stickers, which is quite possibly one of the worst investments of all time, especially if there's going to be a 75% off sale, which there most likely is. Now, with today's video, is going to be really discussing the best investments as of right now in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the M4A4. Some certain op skins that are from previous operations that I really don't think people see potential in, that I do, as many other investors as well have, and that are quite possibly picking up a few of them to possibly quick flip them in the matter of just a couple years. As well as we're taking a look at some other stickers that we don't really discuss on the channel too much, such as Cato 15 and DreamHack 2014. Two big potentials that I think or will eventually take over the sticker market, as Cato 14 is eventually, the supply is going to come to an end, and the last capsule is most likely going to be sold by the end of 2022 or at least early 2023, and some of the last Cato 14s are most likely going to be applied in the next 2 to 3 years. Now, before we really take a deep dive into certain specific items, weapon skins, stickers, I want to talk about the newer and older items in Counter-Strike Global Offensive for investment purposes. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you cannot make money off of newer items in Counter-Strike, like from the Riptide investments. Riptide Collections, right? We look at the newer collections, Dust 2, Mirage, Vertigo. Look at the Train collection. Obviously, I don't think the Train is very profitable. That's kind of been foretold based off of just the 50-50 chance, then a 1 to 6 out of chance if you get a Guac Emerald. Very, very easy, $50 for a try. But with the most expensive skins from those collections specifically, as well as some, minimal ones, right? Look at the Vertigo collection, the least invest collection out of all of them specifically. I think they're going to be pretty overly invested in, once again, a decent amount compared to they are right now because of how many people are talking about them for an investment. But overall, that's the best investment. If you were to consider the options of the numbers, which I don't always go off of, because we run into situations, obviously, like for the Vertigo collection, as much as the M4A1S Imminent Danger is rare, people don't seem to like this skin in particular, which means people aren't going to really buy it and overpay that much for it if it's not that great of a skin. This has happened multiple times before with other items in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Just because an item is very, very rare but does not look that great doesn't mean people are always going to overpay for it. And this happens every time in real life situations as well, with shoes, sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats. Doesn't happen all the time though. As well as new sticker events, as well as the PGL Major from the Stockholm 2021 event. The stickers for this specific event, I just don't really find myself wanting to try and invest in those. Obviously, EDM Jesus has made multiple videos on how you could profit off of this. For example, you sell at the first major hype of the capsules being lifted off of the Steam store, which, I mean, you can do that. You can make, 5 to 10 cents profit. I'm not one of those people to really hype up an item for an investment like that to make you 10 to 15 cents. Just not really my thing. I hate the Prisma shills. I hate all that kind of stuff. Try and stay away from that. I talk about older investments and how those are the best and how you can make the most amount of money and maximize your money with that current investment. And pretty much anything 2017 and before then is the best investment for Counter-Strike Global Offensive for skins, stickers, cases, anything in particular for that specific situation. The demand for those items and pretty much everything from that era of CS is very, very high. The operation skins like Gods and Monsters, the Chop Shop collection, we're never going to be receiving those again. Skins like the Desert Eagle Blade, the Hot Rod, the Icarus Fell, the Desert Eagle Normangander, even from 2019 back in Shattered Web. That's a great investment. Things from Operation Broken Fang, the Op Fade is had an all-time low as of right now, and I think that's one of the best investments, and it's a thing I talk about throughout this video. How multiple investors throughout CS are currently buying these up, hoping they can get a quick flip, maybe even quadruple their money in the next few years down the line. Now, before we stop and hop right into the video, ladies and gentlemen, I have to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Skinport. Now, Skinport is a fast, easy, reliable skins, trading, buying, and selling marketplace. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Sell your skins for cash. If you're selling over $1,000, it's only a 6% fee. As well, if you sell anything in general, it goes directly to your bank, which is very, very nice rather to deal with crypto and PayPal. Because if you sell anything over $1,000, you're going to be dealing with about $100 in fees, if depending on where you live, especially if you're living in Canada. There's a lot of fees with PayPal, especially directed to your bank as well. So if you guys are interested in picking up anything specifically in this video in particular, link down in the description below takes you over to Skinport. Essentially, if you use that link specifically, helps myself out on the channel. Now, the first thing obviously has its own video, essentially, how I've talked about the M4A4, and the M4A4 is probably one of the best, if not the best, investing opportunity into Counter-Strike Global Offensive as of right now. So if you guys aren't familiar with CS and the meta of the guns in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the metas of certain guns have a big influx and big reasoning towards the economy in the game. So The M4A4 as of right now is not really used very much because it's kind of the crappier M4. Most people are going to use the M4A1S, and I don't know why you'd use the A4 over the A1S, because the A1S in general does more base damage than the AK in game right now. Obviously not to the head, but body damage. Not as close to the op, but it's still very, very good. And with that, the M4A1S prices for that skin and any skin for that gun in particular have shot up in price. For an example, back at the end of Operation Broken Fang, I picked up a couple of hot rods for 90 to 100 bucks. Those things now are worth over $200 because, you know, essentially those are being used more, being played more than before with the M4A4. The main skin, obviously, everyone was going for was the Asimov. It was like $300 for a skin. Now it's like 90 to 100 bucks. Now the question with this is, when is it going to go back in price? Well, we don't know. But if we take a look at the current metas and the metas we've seen before, skins and, you know, gun metas don't really change too often, but when they do, it's usually every 3 to 4 years. So it might be a very long-term hold, especially if you're picking up a long and higher tier skin. It's definitely not probably going to be a play skin, especially if you play this game every single day. But if you have a Howl, I wouldn't, you know, maybe suggest not playing with it. I'd definitely use the A4 over the A1S, especially if you have a Howl that you picked it up as of recently. But these skins as of particular are going to be the best investments because they're the cheapest as of right now, and they have the best potential, the brightest future ahead of them as of right now as well. I know a lot of people are picking up Asimovs, Poseidons, which are also a really good thing from Gods and Monsters, as well as the Op Medusa, as well as the Howl if you can afford that kind of price. The buy-in being around $5,000 for field tests and around $10,000 for factory new. Now, one of the other skins I really want to talk about, one of the last skins on this list to be exact, besides before we go into stickers, is the Op Fade. Now, the Op Fade is something I don't really talk too much about on the channel, but when we do, I kind of say the exact same thing every time, but this time we're going to go more into detail on why I think and why I believe this certain thing. So the Op Fade looks very cheap right now. It had an all-time low as of recently with the release of Operation Riptide. I think everything kind of did because of the Riptide collections that kind of came out. Everyone saw the Glock Gamma Doppler and was like, oh my god, Glock Gamma Emerald. Everyone was like, that is so cool, but it's going to be devalued so quickly because of how fast people were going to be able to unbox these. I think people really panic sold the Op Fades because they were going as low as almost $750 at one given point in time unbuffed, which is really, really good if you want to pick them up. And I talked about the same thing with the M4A4, obviously. And what a lot of people are doing right now with the Op Fade, obviously it being from Broken Fang, you're never going to be able to get this thing ever again. There's a certain amount of them that's locked in. These things are pretty much guaranteed to go up in price. Any Operation skin is, but at a skin at this magnitude, obviously it's going to go up a lot higher than any others. Obviously, we talked about a few days ago in my investment guide, especially the $100 investment one, how much money you can make versus, you know, $100 versus $1,000. It depends on how you spend the money, right? If you spend money properly and you're willing to wait a decent amount of time, you can make a lot of money. I think with the Op Fade, a lot of investors, including myself, think you are possibly able to flip this thing in the matter of just a year's time. Possibly over a year and a half, that would be more ideal, but a year is definitely still doable and possible. You're guaranteed to make profit on this thing, essentially. It's one of the things I'm looking into picking up very, very soon at a very good fade percentage, because that's something I want for my play skin. As well, it's a very unique op, as well as it's kind of dull at the same time. For some people's liking, I personally like it quite a bit. Obviously, the story behind this is it was a very cool release when it first came out with, obviously, Operation Broken Fang. But the problem that we saw with this skin is in the matter of just a couple weeks, so many people were unboxing this thing, and it was just luck. It was pure luck. Not even that many people were unboxing the certain case that was obviously in the collection, right? But people were hitting the red every single time for some reason, and they were getting so many of into the market and into the economy. And what happened to the skin is obviously it crashed over time of the operation, especially with how many people were unboxing things and the all-time high we hit in obviously Operation Broken Fang for the first time in a few years. That didn't help as well with how many cases we were unboxing. So that really devalued the skin. And as of right now, at an all-time low, I think it's a very good investment. Now for stickers. Now the Cato 14, Cato 15, and the DreamHack 2014. I would say the most likely the highest talked about stickers in Counter-Strike Global Offensive of all time, especially Cato 14. Now the deal with Cato 14 as of right now, I would say the majority of people watching this video in particular won't be able to afford a Cato 14. Some will, some might. And if you can't afford to lose any sort of money in that particular situation, or you're going to need a panic sell, I would suggest not investing in the Cato 14, because Cato 14 is a very big buy-in. Obviously, the price is very, very high for every single one of those stickers. Titan Hollows are going to cost you about 60 grand at this given point in time, especially if you're living in North America. And the crappiest sticker is still going to be a very, very high buy-in. But with Cato 15, it's actually very affordable. With the stickers looking somewhat similar, and obviously they do have their differences, but the problem that I think a lot of people are going to be running into in the next couple of years is Cato 14s are going to run out. Like I said at the beginning of the video, people are going to turn to Cato 15s and DreamHack 2014, because DreamHack looks really, really nice as well. It's kind of like a really big rectangular sticker, and it's kind of like a graphic design sort of piece, especially if you get something that looks very, very nice like the Cloud9 one, especially the hollows, like the Cloud9 hollow. It's a very, very beloved effect, especially the Navi. Everyone likes these for some reason, and I understand why. It really can change how a gun looks. As well as another sticker to look into as well as the E-League 2017 stickers, to be exact. I think these actually really do have potential. I think some of the Optic Gaming stickers as well as the 100 Thieves stickers have really good potential. I've obviously talked about how the 100 Thieves stickers are in my hidden investments folder, and stickers I've invested in as of recently and obviously have kept since 2018. Obviously the 100 Thieves team is from the 2018, not the 2017 E-League, but those ones in particular, they're very, very rare. 100 Thieves is most likely never going to come back into Counter-Strike, as well as E-League stickers are some of the best looking stickers we've ever had in Counter-Strike. I think probably the most underrated stickers we've ever had in CS anyway, for a specific event and major, to be exact. So what stickers specifically for Cato and DreamHack should you look out for? Pretty much any of the more expensive ones you should look out for, and some of the lower tier teams as well. You have to look at the buy-in prices in the previous market history, right? If something has dipped as of right now, I'd say pretty much any sort of sticker from this event, hollow-wise, is a very good buy-in. They're very, very cheap. We kind of saw the similar prices a couple years ago with Cato 2015, even last year to be exact. You saw similar prices, and the stickers started going up more in price because people are turning to these stickers after all, because obviously the demand and the supply for the other stickers are running out completely. Like, it's not even that people won't pay them, it's we don't have them anymore. They're not available to the community. And with these, I think these are going to start replacing that in the next couple of years. We don't know what's going to replace that after this. And I think this could be the last big sticker in CS we could see for the next little while, especially the Navi stickers, Virtus Pro. The Dignitas sticker, to be exact, are very, very good looking stickers, and I think they're very underrated. The Dignitas stickers, especially, people want the Cato 14 ones, and this is a very good chance to get those yourself as of right now, especially obviously it being 2014. It has the same teams as 2014, where 2015 sometimes doesn't have the same. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys picking up anything specific on this list, or you guys have already invested in some of these things on this list? I myself have bought a couple so far, Dignitas foils as well as some hollows. I'm looking at possibly making a Cloud9 DreamHack 2014 craft for the hollows specifically, but I'm not sure. I think I might want to keep those for an investment because the stickers obviously are so expensive. And if you guys are looking at maybe buying a sticker craft in particular, I would highly suggest looking at either Skinport, Buff, even Bitskins, something in North America if you can't get the Buff, or just anywhere you can find some sort of deal, right, for sticker crafts, because sticker crafts are a big waste of money for a lot of people, especially if you need to end up selling your inventory. Sometimes it's better off crafting them. I would say 99% of the time, especially if it's a very popular team like Cloud9, someone's already made it, especially on like a skin or a gun like the AK, and then being the case hardened. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below as well. Have a good day, guys.